innovative content, global audience.
Hello, good morning, viewers. Yes, another beautiful Thursday here in the Federal Capital Territory. We're reaching you live from our SRTV studio here in Abuja. This is Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Princess KESSY. I have with me the very beautiful
RITA UCHECHI. Good morning.
Good morning. How was your night, Rita?
It was cold.
Cold, yes, cold because the rain yesterday was just something else.
Yes.
Something
It was so heavy yesterday. Like you feel maybe it's going to stop in the next few minutes,
and that's just the beginning.
That's just the beginning of another set.
God, it was
yes, so
yesterday
much.
I suffered. My car broke down. I was stretched from head to toe. People came to rescue me. It was horrible. At some point, I felt like there would be no hope. There would be no one to come. But apparently, I got help, and it was relieving at that moment. But I was cold all through the night, even up to now. But thank God we can't complain. Rain is a good thing. Yes, we have a lot of trending issues this morning. We're seeing minimum wage is still an issue. The student loan plan spike. A lot of issues in different university. The new IGP is still giving us vibes and hopes. We see how that go. Later, we're going to have a guest on the show, but before then, we'll continue with the reviews of the papers. This morning, we're going to kickstart with the Punch newspaper. These are some of the stories we have coming from the Punch this morning. The main headline here says Board's dissolution, 2,000 vacancies open for APC faithful, Tinubu's allies, and the writer says 153 agencies parastatals, others await board members' appointments. Don't sacrifice competence for political patronage, OPS tells president. All the stories on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says Lagos rice value chain created 2,620 jobs. And this is coming from Sonwolu on page 6 of the Punch newspaper. We have a story here that says hearing continues in Desiani's case on forfeited assets. That story is on page 12 of the Punch newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says Egbatekun plans tech-driven policing, improved welfare. And that story is on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says DSS comes Bawa's Abuja home, extend probe to associates. That story is on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. There's a story here that says Makinde evaluates Law Doja, 10 other Ibadan high chiefs to Oba. And that story is on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. We have a story here that says residents panic as bandits reign of terror return to Ondo local government. And that story is on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. There's a story here that says Labour fumes as RMFAC hikes politicians' salaries. That story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. These are all the stories we have coming from Punch this morning. Yes, I saw a story here. Labour fumes as RMFAC hikes politicians' salary. We saw that news yesterday where they are taking so much billion for the accommodation
For
here and
their
there.
housing.
We have a lot of Nigerians that are stranded there, no roof, not even one room, not even a thatched house. And you give so much to these politicians that are supposed to actually be sacrificing for their citizens. So this filming is on right track. It's a good
Yes.
filming. And then there's another one here that says resident panic as bandit reign of terror returns to Ondo local government. Now, the police, the new IGP will have is saying plans tech-driven policing. So I think this is the right time for him to come and show us all the lion in him, the tiger and all that. Yes, it's a very good timing, and we wish him well on that. I don't know. I saw a story here that says 2,000 vacancies open for APC faithfuls. I don't understand. So because
And Tinubu allies.
Yes, Tinubu allies. I don't understand. So because they are from APC, they are from Tinubu now. Others that are qualified from PDP, from LP shouldn't get the positions.
Maybe that's what it's going to
So
look
because
like.
they voted him or they stood by him, this is a way of rewarding them. And I love this call. Don't sacrifice competence for political patronage. And this is coming from the OPS this morning as well. We saw a story here that says DSS comb Bowers Abuja home, extend proof to associate. You know that saying, uh, lace assault and rest in peace.
Yeah.
That one day the bushmeat will catch the hunter. Is a situation like that now. We are seeing that uh, he was the one that used to comb people's houses. Now
Now it is done. The reverse is the
the
case.
case. That is life. And I saw a story here that says the Lagos rice value chain created 2,620 jobs. That's a good one. And then there's a story here that says Makinde evaluates La Doja, 10 others, Ibadan high chiefs to Oba. So Oba of which community?
We don't know.
So they'll be
Maybe
creating communities for them then.
uh,
Because if you are bringing 10 Oba in a place where they don't have up to those communities, you have to create communities where they will rule as Oba. Well, congratulations to them. We move on quickly to the next newspaper we'll have, and that will be
the Guardian newspaper this morning. And the big headline here says proposed 114% pay rise for public officers complicates minimum wage negotiation. That story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. We have here another one. APM closes petition challenging Tinubu's victory. Court adjourns to July 14th. You find that story on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Tinubu pushes for FDI as world leaders seek inclusive financial system at Paris summit. That story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Freed inmate narrates 14-year prison experience for not cooperating with policemen. That story is on page 8 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Nigeria needs state police to tackle insecurity, says ex-Agric Minister Ogbe. You will see more of that story on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. The next one says, why UK government banned dependent visa for Nigerian students? This is coming from the High Commissioner. You'll see that story on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. And that is all we have on the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Wow. Freed inmates.
yes.
Right?
I saw
That's
I'm like wow. So
how
you have to keep somebody there because they didn't
cooperate with you.
Maybe who knows? If I want to see the detail of that
Story
to even
too.
conclude.
Yes, because some headlines might be deceiving.
They are not deceiving. They only direct you. So the only thing you can do is maybe to see the detail and then you conclude on what to think on that story. But I really do think that it is not a good thing. Freed inmates narrates 14 years prison experience for not cooperating with policemen.
Policemen.
So it could be either money, it could be either sexual advances, it could be any other thing. But we know that I used to say it that you see immigration, you see road safety, you see VIO, you see police. They are so corrupt, the officials, that some of them are so corrupt to the extent that when we talk about passport racketeering, fake license, fake paper, car papers, it's the same officials that
Yes,
will give you this fake, not an outsider.
of course.
So I really do hope that the new Egbatekon is going to remove these bad eggs from the good ones.
We hope so.
It's really sad.
We hope so.
And proposed 114% pay rise for public officers complicates minimum wage negotiation. It shouldn't complicate. So after all, we saw that the labor is still here. While they are trying to speak on behalf of workers, they're already increasing the pay rise of politicians that have so much money. They go to National Assembly, all they do is they sit there, they sleep, they don't pass any bill, they don't raise any motion, and they just take this money home at the end of the day. What a shame.
Let's see how that goes.
The next newspaper we have, and that will be the leadership. And these are some of the stories coming from the leadership this morning. We have investors on beats as Britain government backs Tinubu's reforms. And the right says UK sees Nigeria as a big opportunity for investments. The second rider says Shetima British envoy discuss palliatives over subsidy removal. All the stories on page 4 of the leadership newspaper. There's a story here that says 15 killed in fresh plateau attacks, and that story is on page 18 of the leadership newspaper. We also have a story here that says Ram RMAFC denies increasing salaries of president senators orders on page 7 of the leadership newspaper. There's a story here that says Lagos Chamber seeks tax cuts over rising food costs. The story is on page 7 of the leadership newspaper. There's a story here as well that says agreements we are giving president time, says ASU. And that story is on page 7 of the leadership newspaper. There's a story here that says Hajj NACO to operate 18 clinics in Muna, Afrat. That story is on page 12 of the leadership newspaper. We also saw a story here that says Mawa warns against stigmatization of drug abusers. And that story is on page 12 of the leadership newspaper. There's a story here that says Tinubu INEC kick as Obi tenders PVCs from 32 states. And that story is on page 6 of the leadership newspaper. Now you could see that story there, the president sitting, I bet, with the UK envoys discussing on the palliative modalities over subsidy removal. And I saw a story here, 15 killed again in fresh
Plateau
plateau.
attack.
Please, we need this
Oh,
lion
God.
that they've brought in as the police chief
Let him
to
please
go there and
devour
start
those
roaring,
criminals.
do whatever to cope the situation. And I love the story that say Lagos Chamber seeks tax cuts over rising food costs. Yes, you can't be taxing people. They pay so much on on buying these things, and you still want to be collecting so much tax from them. People don't have these monies anymore. ASU, we are giving president time. Okay, we'll wait and see how that goes. And I love the story here that says Mawa wants against stigmatization of drug abusers. You can't abuse people. That is one thing with Nigeria. Do you know? I know people that are patients. If you see the way I relate with them, me and my I once worked in the hospital as their media head. So I have seen these people and I know that it's not really dead centers. They live healthy lifestyle. They are even more healthier than you because
Yes.
you've not gone to do all your body check. Apparently, if you go, you will see one. You see that you are not even as healthy as you think, and
Of
so
course.
I relate with them. We even hug them. We eat together. So I don't know why in Nigeria, it's only in Nigeria, they know somebody has abused drug one time in the past. The person has gone to rehab, and the next thing you will not see stigmatization. Oh, this drug abuser, is it this one? Why are Nigerians like that?
Well, I
They tend to
think
remind you of your past and
past,
things you wouldn't have
yes.
grown, and it's wrong. You
It's
can't
really
keep
wrong.
stigmatizing people. Maybe somebody was once into drug and now the person has gone to rehab. You still try to remind them. Do you want them to go back into drug abuse? It doesn't really tell well of us as a people. Yesterday I was opportune to know that somebody was telling me how somebody was one popular person was into drug and all that, and they had to take the person to rehab. I'm like, hey, yeah, I pray that he gets well soon. Like, it's a normal thing. People
Yes.
sometimes you never know what drove them into that.
Into that.
Yes, there are different factors. It could be anybody. Don't say because you're okay today, you see the next person, you try to talk down on them, you saw them. I once saw somebody that wasn't feeling well. I think she's asthmatic. No, not asthmatic. The one that asthmatic, not asthmatic. Asthmatic is what you have to put this thing in their
Inhaler.
inhaler.
Yes, they're the ones that use inhaler.
I think that is the one I saw. Do you know in a motor park? I traveled to Asaba. I went to the park. This girl was, I think it's a guy. I can't remember. I was struggling. Everybody had to run. That if you go close, you're going to be caught with it. And like, are you people kidding me right now?
Really? In this modern
And
age.
there was a time I saw an old man in my place. somebody had that attack and the inhaler was not close by.
Close
And the person
by.
was already giving us, you know, this old man went and carried gin, you know, this local gin,
Yes.
put it in his mouth and start spraying it into the person's eyes, to the person's face, and the person jerked back to life. So I was telling somebody, one driver, that please, I can't take alcohol, but help me and do this to this. Please help until we revive. Do you know when this guy stood up, the whole body was stained. People were just running away. I felt so bad.
Ah,
Like, what kind of country is
that's
this?
bad.
So it's the
That's
same
bad.
thing. People go through something and you try to even make them feel more bad about that situation as if they created themselves. It's really wrong. It's wrong. And that's why the other time I went to the hospital, I was telling the doctor, I don't want people to see my leg. I always wear long stuff. Like, are you kidding me? Do you know people don't have legs? So people don't walk. And now you have two legs. Just because you had accident, you feel is a yardstick for it. If they want to talk, let them
Let them
talk.
talk.
That is the way I see it. Whatever you want to say, but you know that anything can happen to anybody at any given. It could be good
Yes.
tomorrow. You don't know what the next day brings. Anyway, and there's a story here that says Hajj NACO to operate 18 clinics in Muwa, Afra. That is a good one because the crowd there is really much.
The
So
crowd
they
is
should
so
have
much.
first aid, emergency, everything on ground. And I don't know why the president INEC is kicking over Tinubu's obese tendering PVCs from 32 states. We'll see how that goes. We move on quickly to the next newspaper we have.
And that will be the Daily Trust newspaper. On the Daily Trust newspaper, the big headline here says 201 killed in Plateau in 5 months. The rider here says 20 vigilantes, villagers killed in fresh attack. The second rider here says external forces behind killings. NGO blames herders farmers rivalry. Military meets stakeholders. All these stories are on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning.
Just before you continue, this story here, external forces behind killings. This is coming from governor. So probably the governor has identified
Some
that
of
these
the
people, yes, these killers are not from there, and I think the security agencies need to do something. This is in 5 months we're talking about. We've seen over the months how killings were at Benue, Kaduna. Now they've migrated to Jos, to Plateau State. I think the police new chiefs and the security chiefs have a lot of work to do as regarding these killings.
oh, we hope they do something about it. The next headline here says new exchange rate jacks up international airfares. You see that story on page 24 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Dawa remains in DSS custody 1 week after. That is on page 3 of the Daily Trust newspaper. 114% salary hike for president, VP, governors, orders a proposal. RMFC. That's coming from RMFC. FG pledges more dollar supply to stabilize Naira. That story is on page 23 of Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Kano government reinstates anti-graft boss suspended by Ganduje. That story is on page 5 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Nigeria's economic decisions being noticed globally. That's coming from the UK envoy. That's on page 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper. 436 students jostle for 30 overseas PTDF scholarship in Northeast. That story is on page 36 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And that's all the headline on the front page of the Daily Trust newspapers this morning. Well,
Quite a lot there. And
a lot of Nigerians.
FG pledges more dollar supply to stabilize Naira. Please, they should. Please, this is too much. They should. And I don't know what's going on in Kano. Kano government reinstates anti-grift boss suspended by Ganduje. Why do I think that the former governor and the governor have some kind of part also going on?
I don't know. I don't know.
Like
the as in the interest of the former governor and that of this present one seems to be clashing. Anyway, whatever it is, we'll see. Is the results that really matters. But in some extent, the process also is really important.
Anyway, we move on quickly to the next newspaper. We'll have that will be the Nation newspaper. These are some of the stories coming from the Nation this morning. The main headline here says student loan plan spikes controversy in universities. And the writer says ASU, Kanwa, parent takes different position, policy due to begin September. Now, all these stories on page 6 of the Nation newspaper. There's a story here that says Makinde tips 6 ex-commissioners to return on page 7 of the Nation newspaper. There's a story here as well that says Ogbeti government, state policing will end insecurity. That story is on page 2, and acting IG talks tough. That story is on page 5 of the Nation newspaper. We have a story here that says What I Told Presidents by Bigilt. That story is on page 2 of the Nation newspaper. Eco rice enters market, sells for 33,000 naira. And that story is on page 41 of the Nation newspaper. There's a story here that says Naira narrows down to 763 Naira per dollar. That story is on page 10 of the Nation newspaper. We also have a story here that says lecturers shut down at Gagu Varsity. That story is on page 11 of the Nation newspaper. There's a story here as well that says NBS discos ranked in 247 billion naira in first quarter. These are some of the stories we have coming from the Nation this morning. I saw a story here that says student loan plan spikes controversy in university. Now, parents, the associations, they have different opinion. Even the student themselves, will have diverse opinion on this
Loan, yeah.
I really do hope that when you're trying to apply for this loan, you find a way as well to pay back the loan. And then I saw a story here that says about the government, state policing will end insecurity. Yes, if that's what I know, for like how many years people have been security experts have been suggesting state policing.
Yes.
So if state policing will help, they should be able to right now find a way to do that, to caution this effect of people killing innocent people.
And not just that, I don't make it a policing for the people in positions, because at some point some people are of the opinion that it might be used to target those that are as a target opposite parties and all that.
State policing cannot be done. I want to talk about state policing. I think the individuals themselves, the communities, the citizens will be involved. That is the good thing about state policing, because these people knows the hooks and cranny of their communities. They know when a stranger comes in. They know who is not one of them. So when they see a strange movement, they should be able to tell that this is not one of us. Why is this happening? So state policing, I feel, is just the way forward. And then we move on quickly to the next newspaper we have.
And that will be the Nigerian Tribune. This morning, the big headline says, I will make community policing work, acting IGP. The rider there says, assures of payment of salary arrears of recently recruited constables by month end. That more of that story is on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune. Another headline here says 20 feared killed in Plateau communities. That story is on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune. UK envoy sheds more light on visa restriction on foreign students' families. The writer there says discusses assistance to caution subsidy removal effects. That story is on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Another headline here says how alcohol can lead to kidney, liver, brain failure, expert says. You'll see that story on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune. Ijaw leaders caution oil companies flare rise in pollution. That story is on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune. Subsidy: passengers boycott waterways transportation as boat operators hike fare. That story is on page 20 of the Nigerian Tribune. Another headline here says Salah rams. Dealers bemoan low patronage. Buyers lament high prices. The rider here says prices range between 120,000 and 550,000 in Kwara, Kaduna, Ibadan, Abuja, others. Marketers blame inflation, transportation, banditry. More of that story is on page 29 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. And there is another headline here that says asset forfeiture. Court to hear Dizani suit against EFCC October 23rd. That story is on page 30 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning, and that's all we have on the Nigerian Tribune this morning.
Quite a lot coming from the Tribune this
Yes.
morning. A lot of stories coming from there this morning. How alcohol leads to kidney, liver, brain failure, experts. I really do hope that the youths are watching us right now.
Yes.
I really do hope the youth will hear this right now.
They should just read more about this.
Not just hearing us saying it or reading this, but taking this to heart, to know that too much of everything is bad. We're not saying you should totally do away with alcohol if you're a fan of alcohol, it's fine. But you can do once in a while, do minimum as well. The rate at which the youths are involved in alcohol, in drugs,
they see it as a way of enjoyment, and enjoyment shouldn't be something that is harmful to you. It should be something that at the end of the day you are happy with yourself and everything. But the high consumption of it is really becoming something else amongst the youth. Oh, not just the youths, even some elderly people. You'll be shocked that an elder you respect so much, maybe on the weekends you get to meet that elder somewhere drunk and misbehaving. Is shocking the way they do this.
It's alarming. I really do sincerely hope that the youth will take this to heart. Alcohol could be fun, when you drink, you get high and all that, but too much of it is bad. I have never seen the fun in alcohol, but even if you're taking it because you want to while away time, you are in a sober mood, or whatever reasons, I know, and people have a lot of reasons for doing things. People have a lot of reasons. You could want to be into alcohol because you're moody, because you don't have anybody to talk to, so you just want to shut down on yourself, on the world. Don't do that in it so much to harm yourself. And we know how it is when you start having kidney, liver, brain issues. I don't know how I don't even know if there's a way to always come out from that. These are some of the sensitive, critical organs in your system that needs to function well. So, and on another problem I have with the youth is that they drink so much alcohol, they don't eat well. So it's two different things. They spend so much on alcohol, they can't spend that much on food, healthy food that will even build and benefit their bodies. And then I saw a story here I actually picked interest on. Regional leaders caution oil companies flare rise in pollution. I understand, I have been there before. I'm actually from that part, so I understand some of these companies, they go there, they pollute the air, the waters. I've actually been to my auntie there is there. She came, they took videos, they had to move that period to our house. The whole river was messed up. You could see the oil literally floating, you could see fish dying, crayfish and all that popping out. So I think that they can do more, because this water is this water is the only source of water they have there. When you go to Ijo, it's only the river they have access to. It's just a community. That's the only place they can live and breathe. So you don't come and disorganize the whole place for them in the name of building a company or trying to do something there. Yes, passengers boycott waterways transportation as boat operators hike fares. Who is even going through water? I don't plane air fares will hike. road we have, even boat too. So
Water.
as I am now, I will now want to travel. I say I'm going through boat. Oh please, I'm not even going to. After I can't
Some
swim,
people
so why
still do
would
it in
I
Lagos.
can't. It's really
Even in some places like from Port Harcourt, if you're going to places like
Bonny
Bonny
Island.
Island, there is no
I
other
schooled in Port
means.
Harcourt. I have never been to Bonny Island. I don't think I will ever go there because the water is big. I
Yes.
can't go to. I will even have a BP before I get there. Anyway, we move on quickly to the next newspaper we have, and that will be the News Direct. These are some of the stories we have coming from News Direct. Tinubu's subsidy removal, exchange rates reforms, pathway for foreign investments. This is coming from the UK government. The writer says president's big economy decision attracting global recognition. Says travel restrictions to UK not targeted at Nigerians. All the stories on page 21 of the News Direct newspaper. We also have a story here that says LTE Africa kicks off 5G rollout in 3 countries on page 23 of the Nigerian News Direct. We also have a story here that says metered customers increased by 3.61% in first quarter of 2023. This is coming from NBS on page 23 of the paper. We also have a story here that says Ministries direct Ogbeku to continue as NDDC chief executive, and that story is on page 23 of the Nigerian News Direct. We also have a story here that says Eco Rice hits the market as Sonwolu launches 5 billion forward contracts for paddy supplies, and that story is on page 2 of the Nigerian News Direct. We also have a story here that says Nasarawa Assembly APC stakeholders insist Ogazi remains speaker unless court says otherwise, and that story is on page 4 of the Nigerian News Direct. There's a story here that says NLNG Rivers, Rivers State government renew commitment to healthcare infrastructure development. That story is on page 2 of the Nigerian News Direct. There's a story here that says Hoodlum adopts rapes Oshun undergraduates. That story is on page 12 of the Nigerian News Direct, and that is a very sad one. They're coming from Osun State.
Yeah,
I am
it
a
is.
woman, and this is something I don't pray for anybody. Rape is a very serious issue. I hope these hoodlums be caught, apprehended, and tried for this, and they should face the law squarely. Uh, I saw this Rivers government renew commitment to healthcare infrastructure. Please try and build on what Wike left behind. Wike did a lot,
Yes,
a
the
whole
man
lot,
tried.
a lot.
He tried.
Mr. Project. Now you go to Rivers, unlike them, I was in school then. If I say let me go to bank at Garrison, the suffer before going there, it will take me full day. So I have to practically miss lectures just to go to the bank and come back because getting to Rumola, passing through Rumola then was a stress. The traffic then was terrible, but I know now that there is a easy flow movements there. That's what I've been told that Wike did quite a
He
lot.
did quite a
I
lot.
have
Every
friends,
week he commissioned something.
I have indiges from the state that have testified to that. My friends that are there, my schoolmates that are still living there, tell you the man actually did a lot, and that is something every other government, every other governor should emulate. I saw a story here that LTE Africa kicks off 5G. I don't understand. LTE, are you both done with 4G? You're frustrating everybody now. You're jumping to
To
5G.
5G.
Where is that coming from? I've been trying to battle with them for how many days now? You can't even get to talk to their customer service. They can't hear me. I can't hear them. Their network is so bad. And then now they are jumping to 5G. Oh, maybe when they go to 5G, we'll have a perfect network. So
Oh,
kudos
oh.
to them. Yes, viewers, this is Wake Up Nigeria. We're still here on the reviews. We'll go on a quick break. I did promise I was going to come with a guest. Now we'll go on a quick break. When I come back from that break, I'll come with my guest, and just maybe when we have time, we'll go back to the reviews of the papers. Now don't go anywhere. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
Hooray! It's Nigeria Week London 2023. This is a celebration of Nigerian foods, film, arts, culture, fashion, music, dance, and comedy. Also, there will be a comprehensive economic summit, exhibition of Nigerian organic agricultural produce, and a meritorious recognition performance awards to deserving Nigerians and industry icons. Nigeria Week will showcase Afrobeat A-list artists, Ice Prince, Terry G, Orishefemi, Oris Wiliki, Konga, Bigiano, Nice Flow, Jetplay, and many more. Dates 17th to 23rd July 2023. Time 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily. Venue Lighthouse Theatre, 262 to 274 Camberwell Road, London SE50AY. Tickets available on Eventbrite at www.eventbrite.com/Nigeria Week or numbers below. For more details, visit our website www.superiorradioandtelevision.com. Nigeria Week, produced by SRTV in partnership with the Federal Ministry of Information.
Okay, my people, it could not be better than this. The Nigerian Week in London 2023 got you covered to the extent that you can get a free ticket to the event. And this is all you need to do. Go to the Google Play Store and download TapTap app. Send as low as £1 to the account in Nigeria using SRTV as your transaction code. Screenshot your transaction and send to 447-459-513619 or email it to events@superiorradioandtelevision.com and the ticket will be sent to you ASAP. This is powered by SRTV London and TapTap Send. You already know what time it is. Your boy Ice Prince Amani. I can't wait to ride. Feeling the boy.
Okay, it's so exciting. The game's been dark, but I'm ignited.
Hooray! It's Nigeria Week London 2023. This is a celebration of Nigerian foods, film, arts, culture, fashion, music, dance, and comedy. Also, there will be a comprehensive economic summit, exhibition of Nigerian organic agricultural produce, and a meritorious recognition performance awards to deserving Nigerians and industry icons. Nigeria Week will showcase Afrobeat A-list artists, Ice Prince, Terry G, Orishefemi, Oris Wiliki, Konga, Bigiano, Nice Flow, Jetplay, and many more. Dates 17th to 23rd July 2023. Time 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily. Venue Lighthouse Theatre, 262 to 274 Camberwell Road, London SE50AY. Tickets available on Eventbrite at www.eventbrite.com/Nigeria Week or numbers below. For more details, visit our website www.superiorradioandtelevision.com. Nigeria Week, produced by SRTV in partnership with the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Nigeria Film Corp.
Okay, my people, it could not be better than this. The Nigerian Week in London 2023 got you covered to the extent that you can get a free ticket to the event. And this is all you need to do. Go to the Google Play Store and download TapTap app. Send as low as £1 to the account in Nigeria using SRTV as your transaction code. Screenshot your transaction and send to 447-459-513619 or email it to events@superiorradioandtelevision.com and the ticket will be sent to you ASAP. This is powered by SRTV London and TapTap.
Hooray! It's Nigeria Week London 2023. This is a celebration of Nigerian foods, film, arts, culture, fashion, music, dance, and comedy. Also, there will be a comprehensive economic summit, exhibition of Nigerian organic agricultural produce, and a meritorious recognition performance awards to deserving Nigerians and industry icons. Nigeria Week will showcase Afrobeat A-list artists, Ice Prince, Terry G, Orishefemi, Oris Wiliki, Konga, Bigiano, Nice Flow, Jetplay, and many more. Dates 17th to 23rd July 2023. Time 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily. Venue.
Come back from that quick break. Like I did promise, I was going to come back with a guest. I have my guest with us via call, Apostle George Wet Ikechukwu of World Healing Domain and Deliverance Ministry. Good morning, Bishop.
Good morning, Bishop.
A very good morning to you.
Yes, nice to have you on the show. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
Yes, sir. So, quickly, there is this fuse the other day, just on Monday, that will have a little bit of network issues. There is this fuse that is ongoing over a bill to regulate Christian preaching. Now, what's your take on this kind of bill?
I want to, it is quite worrisome that such a thing is coming up in the country at such a time as this. Nigeria has not been so divided religiously and ethnic division like the way it is at the moment. Such a bill, I want to say strictly that it is not going to fly because the church is a non-governmental organization, and number two, there are other religious organizations and settings within the country, and they are doing their thing. We take, for example, there are two major religions in this country, Nigeria. Number one is Christianity. The other one is Muslim religion. Every morning, for example, where I stay, very close to where I stay, the mosque very close to that place, a whole lot of 5 o'clock or before 5 in the morning, the speakers and all of those, they are going on, shouting, and it is some disturbance. It creates disturbance around the neighborhood. Nobody talks about this. Nobody worries about this. Nobody asks them to stop this. Nobody call it a nuisance. Why? Because it is a religious practice. It shouldn't be disturbed. Neither should it be stopped. So how can you pass a bill to regulate Christian or church activities? The church is not going to hold program except the government approves it. It is another way for me of Islamizing a society that shouldn't be. The way I look at that bill, they should desist from passing it. I advise the president never to adhere from signing such a bill because it is going to cause a very big problem in this nation. Nobody is going to support that. Nobody is going to listen to that. I do not concur to that. Neither will any reasonable person, flow in line with that. Christianity is a religion of peace, and it deals with the spirit, the soul, and body, and the mind.
Hello. Network issues there. We do hope to have him back. Okay.
There shouldn't be that regulation.
All right, Pastor. So, like you did say, hello.
It even be passed for any.
All right.
So I strongly advise the government of the day to turn such bill down. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So, like you did mention at the beginning of your speech, that we've never been so divided as a people, as a nation, as we are now this time. Do you even think? Hello, can you hear me?
Come again?
Yes. Do you even think we have a lot of issues now? We have a lot of insecurity issues, killings here and there. we have a lot of economy issue. The citizens are groaning because of everything that is skyrocketed. And do you think this is the kind of bill that these lawmakers should be proposing to sign into law at this time that we have a lot of national critical issues to deal with?
Like I said, this kind of bill is just an attack against the body of Christ. And it shouldn't even come up at the moment. Nigeria is faced with a lot of hardship, economic meltdown, security. There's no security in the nation. Just 1 or 2 days ago, I was reading over the news, people who were abducted by Boko Haram. Like this particular week, such days, these are the things that should be looked into. Petrol price is 500 something naira on the filling station. People are, jobs are nowhere. People are impoverished. The nation is going down. Kidnappers are everywhere. Nothing is actually working. There's a very big meltdown in the nation. Look at our medical
sector.
Nothing is working. We shouldn't even be talking of such a bill at the moment. We should be talking of how to make the health factor to work, to make the economic factor to work, to make the security to work. All these areas that government should look at, they are not even actually facing those areas, and they are bringing up a bill to regulate Christian activity or preaching and all of those. This is just like chasing shadow. This is living substance to chase shadow. So I do not, with the way I look at it, to be very honest with you, the government of the day should desist from looking at such bill. They should focus on the security problem that the nation has. They should focus on the hunger that is sweeping people in the nation. They should focus on no fuel anywhere. Money to buy fuel is a problem for people. Things are very expensive in the market. People are very hungry. Things are not working. These are the things they should be looking at. They should look at our health sector. Nothing is working there. People are dying in the hospital every day, like I say. So when you look at the things these people should be looking at, they're not really paying attention to all of those. People fly out of Nigeria every day looking for medical assistance. People fly out of Nigeria every day looking for how to study their children abroad. Things are not supposed to be. Our doctors are leaving the country in their badges. Nurses are leaving the country in their hundreds. These things are not supposed to be. Going to put security operatives in our airport, maybe to stop people from traveling, that is not how to solve the problem, because this is what they are doing. You solve the problem entirely, create jobs for people, make the doctors comfortable, make the nurses comfortable, make things to move, make the masses themselves. You cannot put fuel from 190 something naira, you raise it to 500 something naira, and there is even there's no time limit to this. This thing is just continuing like this. How are people going to face all this? And you're talking about you're living the real thing you're supposed to pursue, and you're pursuing shadow. It's not the right thing to do at this moment. I think they should look at the problem of the nation, which has eaten deep into this nation. And like I said from the onset, Nigerian has never been so divided like it is now. So these are the things they should look for, to heal the broken wound, to make sure that this nation becomes what it should be, to bring the heart of the people together, to make sure that everybody is incorporated in the welfare of this nation. Outside of this, I can assure you, looking at this kind of bill now, it's just like someone in the hospital who is trying to die, and you're instead of treating the person of what is wrong with the person, you're giving the person an assignment and a task to go and do. The person is about to die, you're asking the person, giving the person a responsibility what to do and what not to do. It's not going to work. Treat the person, let the person revive and come back to life, then you can look at what to ask the person to do and what not to ask the person to do. So I think looking at that bill for now, it shouldn't even come up at all. They should look at the mess going on in the nation. People are very tired of what is happening in this nation, and I think it needs to be washed. Thank you.
Yes, you said quite a lot, sir. And just before we let you go, now, what's your advice to Christian? You know, like this particular bill has caused some kind of fuse since Monday. Now, what's your advice to them?
My candid advice to the Christians: Christianity is a religion of peace. It's a religion of peace, but nobody wants to stand. And you're coming to kill the person maybe with a machete, and the person is standing looking at you. So I strongly advise Christians, not only in Nigeria, everywhere in the world where they are facing persecution, to stand up for their rights strongly. To stand up and speak out, speak against all this kind of rascality that shouldn't be. I advise every Christian not only to speak out, but to stand out and make sure that such things that are not good for them should be silenced. Everybody who is a Christian man, Christian woman, Christian leader should stand out against all of this, so that this kind of things will not come to be, because it is not going to go down well with anybody if something like this is done.
Thank you so very much, sir. You've said quite a lot and is well understood. But viewers have been on call with Apostle George Wells, UCHECHI of Word Healing, Dominion and Deliverance Ministry. Thank you so very much for joining us this morning. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, viewers, you've heard from him. I do hope that bill is not something they should even consider.
It shouldn't even be proposed in the first place.
Yes, people have rights to their religious practices and activities, so that we all live in a peaceful country. We should try and mind our own religion and be going the way we've been like that for years, and nothing has stopped anybody
at all.
Why are they bringing it now? After all, we have a lot of things that are not going well, like he didn't mention. Look at the killings today. We sat here, 200 or something killed in just within 5 months. This is worrisome.
These are things they should look into.
Whosoever that is proposing bills like this should focus the energy on innocent killings, people being killed, people being raped. Focus your energy in this place, in this sector, so that we can have a good and prosperous Nigeria.
Yes, that's what they should do.
Sorry, we can go back to the reviews of the paper. That's all we could be able to take today on the show this morning. And thank you so much for being part of the show with us today. We do hope that we've made your morning.
Of course.
Rita, for being on the show this
morning.
Thank
you for having me.
Yes, we'll do this again tomorrow. Hopefully, just before we go, don't forget our Nigerian Week London is quite approaching really fast. It's just next month. Do well to be part of that event. And all you have to do is go to everbright.com/Nigerian Week and get yourself a ticket to be part of that event. And also, while you are out there, remember to hit on the notification bell. Follow us on our social media handles. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Invite others as well to the page. While you're out there as well, struggling for fuel, for food, the hustle and bustle, stay safe and always be nice to others. A lot of people are going through a lot, like I guess they say. A lot of people are.
A lot of things are happening. A lot of things are happening, and sometimes it just takes your smile to the next person to relieve their stress, and that is all it requires.
Yes, please. So stay while you're out there. Be nice to others and help as many. If you're in position to help somebody, your neighbor, anybody, with anything, be kind enough to show love this period. People are really going through a lot. Well, I remain yours truly, Princess KESSY.
And I am RITA UCHECHI.
We'll see you again tomorrow. And always remember that peace is priceless. So let's always give peace a chance. Bye.
Bye.
Hooray! It's Nigeria Week London 2023. This is a celebration of Nigerian foods, film, arts, culture, fashion, music, dance, and comedy. Also, there will be a comprehensive economic summit, exhibition of Nigerian organic agricultural produce, and a meritorious recognition performance awards to deserving Nigerians and industry icons. Nigeria Week will showcase Afrobeat A-list artists, Ice Praise, Terry G, Orishefemi, Oris Wileke, Konga, Bigiano, Nice Flow, Jet Play, and many more. Dates: 17th to 23rd July 2023. Time